Sir, in the last video, we covered very clearly what is command line argument, how you can read and use those command line arguments, right? Sir, now let me go for one more example, very meaningful example, okay, related to these command line arguments. Observe that program to print sum of given numbers provided as command line arguments. What it means, sir? Very simple. Suppose py test.py. I am not passing any command line argument. Then what is my expected output is the sum is 0 because you are not passing any argument, right? The sum is 0. Suppose py test.py and I am taking 10. Sir, how many command line arguments I am passing? Only 10, explicitly 10. Then what answer I have to get? The sum is 10. Remember, the sum is 10. Next, py test.py 10, 20 I am passing. Are you getting 10 and 20? Two numbers I am passing at the command line arguments. Now my expected output is the sum is 30. Are you getting? The sum is 30. Next, py test.py 10, 20, 30, 40 I am taking, sir. So 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40, 100. Now the sum is 100 we are going to get. Everything is clear for all of right? Sir, what is the command line argument? So this is a more meaningful example. I want to use these command line arguments in my program to find the sum. How you can write the logic. Observe carefully, sir. Here first import argv from says import argv. Just I imported argv, right? Now the next thing is take very special care. Argv in the first command line argument is always what? First command line argument. Suppose I am passing py test.py 10, 20, 30, 40 I am passing. Then which one will become first command line argument? Yes, this test.py will become first command line argument. I don't want to consider 0 index. I don't want to consider 0 index value. I want to consider the values from one index only. Remember this one. From one index only I have to consider. Then what I have to take? Argv of 1 colon like. Are you getting which is this operator is called slice operator? In the last videos I covered very clearly. From one index onwards remaining, can you please consider this is nothing but like. So take very special care about this one, sir. Argv of 1. Okay, now this result you can assign to any variable. Args I am taking. R need not be args, some x also. X is equal to argv of 1. Now this x pointing to this one, sir. Okay, in this first one, second one, third one, like this we are going to use. Take very special care. This what is the very important, right? Now observe that args is equal to argv of 1 colon. Okay, so ignore file name, ignore our Python file name. Okay, only provided command line arguments can you please consider. Okay, like so that new list we are assigning with args. Sir, in my classroom whenever I use this line, some students ask the doubt, sir, what is this args? Okay, args I am using just like a variable man. Instead of args you can use any x also, no problem at all. It is not fixed. But argv, is it fixed or not? Yes, it is a predefined, but this one is our own variable. XYZ also you can use, no problem, right? Next I am taking sum is equal to 0. Take very special care. Small loopholes are there. Just I am taking a variable whose initial value is the 0. So now for each x value in args, okay, for every x value present inside args means from one index onwards. For every x value in args, sum is equal to sum plus x. Sum is equal to sum plus x. Can you please print the sum? Can you please print the sum is just I'm taking like this. The sum is like, sir, a small chota Python script to read command line arguments and to print the sum of the values whatever we passed as command line arguments, right? Any doubt? Friends, observe very carefully. Can you please confirm, is this code is going to work or not? Yes, if I pass py test.py, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40 I'm passing. Can I get the sum as 100 or not? Is it possible or not? Is this code is going to work or not? Yeah, take a bit very special care. So everything is going to be work, but a small mistake, syntactical mistake we are doing. What is that mistake is? Observe carefully. Very important point, sir. What is the point is? For each x in ARGS, ARGS means ARGV of 1 colon. So this is the ARGS. This is the ARGS. So for each x, first time x, next x, next x, add this x to sum. Here there is one small problem is there. Observe carefully. Whatever values we are passing from the command prompt, always considered as string type only. Remember this one, sir. Always considered as what type? String type only. Even you are passing numbers also, it is always going to treat as string like this, right? It's always going to consider as a string type only. Then what will happen is, observe. So sum is the number, but x is a string type. So whenever we are applying plus a symbol between a number and a string, immediately we are going to get type error. Remember this one, sir. Between int value and a string value, you can't use plus operator. By mistake, if you are trying to apply, immediately you are going to get error. We are going to get, sir, type error. Let me check this one. How you can correct, I will explain. Sir, observe carefully, right? Sir, what is the example we have to take care? Okay, from okay, sys import, from sys import argv. Okay, like next args is equal to argv of 1 colon, like this I'm taking, sir. Okay, like so only our required arguments only we are considering. Now sum is equal to 0 for each x in args. For every x value inside args, sum is equal to sum plus x value. Okay, now print of the sum, the sum I'm taking. What is the sum value, sir? Sum I'm taking, sum like this, right? That's all. This is the simplest example what I'm considering, right? Now let me execute this code, sir. Okay, let me execute. This is the code py test.py 10, 20, 30, 40. Now take a bit very special care. It's available in string form. So number plus a string, immediately type error we are going to get. Am I getting that error or not? Observe that carefully, sir. What is the answer? Type error. At which line? Sum is equal to sum plus s. Unsupported operand types for plus int and str. Sir, you can't apply plus operator for int and str. Like this we are getting the error. So how I can solve this problem? Very simple, sir. Convert this string type to int type. Typecasting function is available or not? Yes. Instead of taking x, just we require to take int of x. Just we have to take what? Int of x. Perfectly, the code is going to work. Don't worry, sir. This is the small correction what we have to take care. So all command line arguments, whatever we are passing from the command prompt, available in string form only. Okay, inside. So if you want other type, compulsory we have to typecast. Okay, we require to perform typecasting, sir. Now have a look. Let me perform that small change here for each x in args. Okay, can you please typecast to int type, sir? Typecast to int type like this, right? Now have a look once, sir. I'm not passing any command line argument. Now listen carefully. If I'm not passing any command line argument, then the sum is 0. Perfectly it's working, sir. The sum is 0 like this. If I'm passing only one command line argument 10, the sum is 10 we are getting, sir. Sir, similarly, if I'm passing 10, 20, 10, 20, what the answer we are going to get, sir? The sum is 30, 30 like this, right? Sir, if I can take 10, 20, 30, 40, 40 like this, right? Now the sum is 100 we are going to get. Sir, 50, 50, 60, 70 like this I'm taking, then the sum is 280 we are going to get. So everything perfectly is working, not required to keep any explanation about this terminology. Are you able to understand, right? So with pleasant mind, better to trace so that you people can get much clarity. But meaningful example, what is command line argument, what is the purpose, what is the how to use command line arguments in our script. Clear, right? Sir, now it's very clear how to read and how to use command line arguments, right? Sir, whenever I'm explaining this concept in my regular sessions, maybe classroom or online, every student having some doubt. Sir, first what is the use? For which purpose we are going to use this command line argument? Can you please explain one real-time scenario where we are going to use this, sir? Sir, a simple example I want to tell. What is the perfect use of command line arguments, right? Just observe. I want to develop a small file merger application. What is the application I'm trying to develop? File merger application, sir. Means I have two files are there. Read the data from the two files and write to two separate files. Merge data present in two files into a third file. This is about my requirement, right? How you can write the code? Just basic idea. You are not required to execute this code. Just observe carefully. Here I am taking F1. F1. Sir, can you please open file1.txt. Okay. You are just spell out. Can you please open file1.txt? You are not specifying any mode, means read mode by default. Just we are opening file1.txt for read operation. Assume that in the file IO I will explain in detail, just basic idea purpose. F2 is equal to, can you please open file2.txt, sir? Can you open file2.txt, file1.txt? Okay, well. Sir, this data I have to write to output.txt. Assume that my requirement. Can you please open output.txt. output.txt. But I want to write operation. Compulsory we have to specify mode explicitly. W means what? Mode explicitly we require to specify, sir. Okay, F3 is ready. Now, so three files are there, file1.txt, file2.txt and output.txt. My job is read the data from file1.txt and file2.txt and write that data to output.txt. This is my requirement, right? Sir, very simple. For each line in F1, for X in F1 means for every line in F1 means what? File1.txt. So for every line present inside file1.txt, so can you please write F3 dot write off, sir, that X. So all the lines present inside F1 means file1.txt. Can you please write to F3? F3 means output.txt file. Okay, we are writing, sir. Well, so first file data completed. Next, for each X in F2, for every line present inside F2, can you please write to F3 dot write of X. That's all. A simple file merger application. Sir, this is the code. Okay, anyway, even you don't know about file IO concept, but by seeing this code you may get some basic idea. But in files concept I will discuss in detail. Don't worry, sir. Even I won't execute this code also, just idea purpose I'm taking. Now have a look once. What this program is doing, can you please spell out? Reading the data from F1 and F2. F1 and F2 means file1.txt and file2.txt. write to F3. F3 means output.txt, right? Okay, this is the program, everything right. Now my question is, so I want to give this application to the client. Array, beautiful file merger application I did. Happily you can use like. Then immediately my client is going to ask, array, my input data in which files should be available? Okay, like he's asking. So I should tell, to work this code properly, compulsory your input data should be available inside file1.txt, file2.txt, and then output should come only to the output.txt file. So you hard coded file names, correct or not? So this program will work only for file1.txt, file1.txt, file2.txt, and it will provide to output.txt file. Are you getting? File names are hard coded, right? So this program is fixed only for these files, right? Okay, like. But my client is telling, my end user is telling, boss, my data is available inside a.txt, b.txt. Can you please write this data to c.txt? Not these file names. My own file names are there. Sorry man, this program you can't use, or you have to change these file names. Instead of hard coding file names, what I want to do is, so I will rewrite this application in different style. Have a look once, observe very carefully, right? Here, can you please open F1 is equal to open off. I will pass first input file as command line argument argv of 1. Okay, whatever command line, from the command line you are passing file name, so it is going to first file. Okay, like, sir, similarly F2 is equal to open of argv of 2. I'm taking, sir. Okay, next F3 is equal to open of argv of 3 comma w, like this. So observe carefully, I'm not hard coding file names. I will pass file names from the command prompt. I can pass. I'm using those dynamically provided file names. Okay, well, now for each line inside F1, can you please write to F3.x? Remaining code is the same. Similarly, for each x in F2, can you please write F2.write of x? That's all. Sir, this is the code, sir. Now, so I have to convey to the client. Array, if you want to execute this code, what you have to take is py tester.py, test.py. What your input file names are? My input file names are a.txt, b.txt. A.txt means argv1, b.txt means argv of 2, Next, in which file you want to take? c.txt. So read the data from a.txt and b.txt and write this data to c.txt. Based on your requirement, happily you can provide your own file names. Definitely this program will work. So tomorrow my data is available inside x.txt, y.txt. I want to write this total data into z.txt. Sir, very simple. py test.py, test.py, x.txt, y.txt, z.txt, like this you can take. Read the data from x.txt, y.txt and write this data to z.txt, like this, right? Now, am I hard coded any file names? Respond. Am I hard coded any file names? No. Based on your provided file names, this program will work. But this part here, we hard coded file names. This program will work only for these file names. By mistake, if you are changing the file name, this program won't work. So that is the advantage of command line argument. based on our provided data, the program will work. We can customize the behavior of the application with these command line arguments. Everyone can able to understand, right? It is a generic template program, generic program what we are writing if you have command line arguments. Okay, so what is the purpose of command line arguments, right? The main objective of command line arguments is we can customize behavior of the application based on our requirement. Okay, well, even this program also, just last program whatever we covered, sir, can you please print sum of given numbers, it is also a generic program because I didn't hard code anywhere how many numbers are there. Sometimes you may pass 0 number, sometimes you may pass 10 numbers, sometimes you may pass 1 lakh numbers. In any case, this program is going to work. That is the biggest advantage of command line arguments. Are you in the position to understand, right? What the main objective? What the main advantage of command line arguments? The biggest advantage of command line arguments is we can customize behavior of application based on our provided values. Our application will work, which is nothing but customization, right? I hope everyone can understand. Clear, right?